Okay, let's begin the Section 5 notebook on time series data. So first, as always, we'll do our setup cell where we import the libraries we need and import PyKX's KX. And then after that, we will read in our Bitcoin CSV using kx.q.read.csv, as well as add a new column to that Bitcoin table called date, where we'll take the timestamp column and transform that into a date and store that into a new column. So now we have our PyKX table that has all our Bitcoin time series data, as well as a date column for each row within that table. So our goal in this section is to understand more about time series data types and time series analysis with PyKX. And the first thing that we're going to do is review some of the core atomic types with dates and times. So as we can see here, which is also held in the reference card that we talked about in section 1, we can see all the different date time data types that are available to us in PyKX and the symbol associated with them. So say we want to get the current date and current time. All we need to do is say kx.dateAtom, and in the parentheses we put today. Or if we want the current time, we can say kx.timeAtom, in the parentheses put now. Or for the timestamp, same thing, you use now. So if we run this, we can see the date, the time, and the timestamp currently. So what if we want to generate some date and time objects? What are some ways we can do that? Well, we could use kx.q to do that, to generate a date object. So let's generate a date in January 1st, 2020, and we know we're going to be generating a date atomic type because we're appending this D at the end. And if we go and look at our reference card, we see that the data type has the D symbol. So this will generate a date atomic type. Now there's some other ways we can do this as well. We could do kx.dateAtom of the date using that date time library here that we import of that specified January 1st, 2020. We can do this as well to get the same date atom out. And then we could also generate multiple objects at once. So say we wanted to generate 3 different timestamps. So first we're going to say we're going to generate 3, and then this question mark 0 means it's going to be random, and then the P is timestamps. And if we go look up at our reference card, we'll see that the timestamp symbol is P. So we're creating 3 random timestamps, and we're going to call that date time, and in this case this will be a timestamp vector, PyKX vector, of those 3 different timestamps. So once we have this generated, then we can do some additional manipulations to it, and say we wanted just to extract the month out of that timestamp. Well, we can do this by saying date time, which is our timestamp vector, dot month. And if we do this, we'll see that out of each of the 3 timestamps that were created, we're grabbing the date. So we have 5 here for the date, and we grab the 5th month here. Second month here, 02, we get 2, and of course finally 7, and we get 7. So we're able to get specific things out of each of these timestamps. And then we can do the same thing with the date. So say we wanted to get the entire date out of the timestamps, well, you can do that as well. And here you'll see we extract the date out of the 3 timestamps. We can do the same thing for the time, extract the time out of those timestamps down to the second, and so on. So we have a lot of options for our manipulations of these date time types and transformations of these types as well. So finally, we want to be able to convert our timestamp types into dates within the context of a table. So we have our Bitcoin table here, tab BTC, and we're looking at the timestamp column, which it holds a timestamp for every single minute of Bitcoin trade data. And say we don't want the entire timestamp, we just want to see the specific date. Then we can do tab BTC, square brackets, timestamp, the column we're interested in, .date, and this will create a date vector, a PyKX vector, that holds all of the dates from within the timestamp column. So lastly, let's plot our time series data using matplotlib. So what we'll do is we'll import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, and then we're just going to take the date column as our x-axis and the close column, which remember is the closing price at each minute within the table, on our y-axis. We're going to create a title, x label, and y label, and then we'll show the plot. And what we'll see is that we can see how the price at each minute of Bitcoin moves over time from mid-2017 to early 2024. So we can map the price of Bitcoin over time and visualize that using matplotlib. Okay, next up we're going to look at some of the common time series operations that you can do in PyKX.